everybody, and welcome back to Umineko. Today we're finally starting on episode 3. You might notice something's a little different about me, but don't worry, I'm still the same old Lorelei at heart. Anyway, without further ado, let's just get right into today's episode. I'll read the description of the episode 3 again. Good morning. This is a surprise that even now you do not surrender. The Golden Witch has exceedingly high expectations of you. Have you perhaps also come to realize the structure of this world? There can be no victory without knowing the rules. Please enjoy a hearty game with the witch. The difficulty level is fair. Fair for you and fair for the witch. Oh, I'm kind of nervous. Excited but nervous too. I wonder what will show up. It's the usual disclaimer, which actually jump scared me the first time. I didn't put it in the video though. White Shadow looks new. And it's this place. It's the one that's in the title screen. But where is it? It's Rokkenjima, right? I do believe it is. The vase was very, very beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as young as I was, it still forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty. Of course, it was one of grandfather's favorite collection pieces. I wonder whose point of view we are in now. Maybe Jessica? So that I didn't accidentally destroy its fragile beauty, I was always strictly ordered never to touch it. But that just made me want to touch it. You could almost see right through it, and yet it was so elegant, it appeared so weightless, and yet it had an indescribable presence. I wanted to see what it felt like to touch a vase like that. However, just as grandfather had said, it was something that must not be touched. This much beauty arises precisely because it must never be touched. It was a beauty that could only dwell in something so fragile it would break at a touch. Which is exactly why, if it were to be touched by my impudent finger, it would oh so easily. Just like an enjoyable morning dream fading into nothing as you wake. It vanished, fell, and broke into smithereens. Oh no. I realized that because of my own foolish curiosity, I had done something that couldn't be taken back. Oh man, I'm so curious to find out whose point of view we are in right now. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the broken vase would not return to its original form. I would probably be scolded by grandfather, probably very harshly. Maybe George too? I don't know. Frightened, I ended up breaking into tears and sobbing. It's clear that we are in a child's point of view. As I did, I noticed something beautiful. Lightly dancing golden butterflies were coming towards me. Now I'm thinking of Maria. Would be cool though. The beautiful butterflies began to gather, one at a time, glittering fantastically with glowing golden powder. Oh, it's Beatrice. Must be Maria then. That reliable golden witch Beatrice had arrived. Oh, what? Oh my god, what? Why is there someone else here? The butterflies gathered one after another, grouped together, and there became her form, but it looks so different from Beatrice. Is it really Beatrice? She was always on my side. Whenever I was in trouble, she would always appear and help me.
ごきげんよう、お姫様。
No, it's not Maria. It's not Maria. So who is this? It's clearly someone I don't think we've ever heard this person yet. Well, kind of sounds like Jessica, but also maybe not Jessica. But still, if that's Beatrice, then what is Beatrice? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Still, let's see. Now I'm wondering if it's not any of the cousins, but actually one of the adult siblings. And the grandfather that they are talking about is another grandfather. Well, their grandfather, not Kinzo.
おやおや。このような絶好のお茶会日和に、どうして姫様はそのように涙をこぼされているのですか？
She sounds so much nicer than the Beatrice we know.
おじいさまが大切にしていた壺を壊してしまったの。
No, this is not any of the cousins' voice, so who is it?
おじいさまに怒られます。どうしたらいいかわからなくて。
それは困りましたね。これは親方様が大層お気に入りになられていた壺のはず。どのような折檻があるか、このベアトリーチェ、想像するのも恐ろしゅうございます。
Grandfather was a very frightening person. And once he told you something, if you failed to follow it, you would become mad with a rage that would make even the fallen angels in hell quiver. I was intimately familiar with that, which is why I couldn't do anything but shake like this and cry.
こぼしてしまった姫様の涙を救う魔法は持ち合わせておりませんが、姫様が親方様から折檻を受けなくて済むようにする魔法なら、なんとかなるかもしれません。
本当？
姫様が私の力をお信じくださればでございます。魔法の力の根源は信じる力。
That is interesting indeed. But also, I just wanted to say that this Beatrice has a different insignia on her. Definitely not the one-winged eagle. So I wonder if this has anything to do with Kinzo's family at all, actually. And how far back have we traveled? Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff for sure.
奇跡はそれを強く信じる者の前にしか示されません。
信じる。ベアトリーチェの魔法を信じます。だからこの壺を直してください。
I will lose my mind if we are in Beatrice's point of view.
お願いします。
姫様がそれをお望みでしたら、それではこのベアトリーチェにお任せを。
When she extended her index finger, a golden butterfly softly landed there and changed its form into her favorite magic wand. Even that was enough to give me a small glimpse at Beatrice's wonderful and great magic power. She pointed her wand at the broken vase, and just like a child's lullaby, she began speaking the magic words.
さあさあ、目を閉じてごらんなさい。そして思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。それはきっと、とてもとても美しい姿。
Isn't this something Beatrice did herself with Maria and her candy?
どうか私にあの姿をもう一度見せておくれ。
Were they words or was it a song? No, it was surely magic. I swear I will lose my mind if it's really Beatrice's point of view. After all, can't you see? Pieces of the vase are gathering together in no time at all, and softly returning to the place where they had been displayed, returning to their original, beautiful form.
すごい。
ほら、 これで元通りですよ。これでお館様にお叱りを受けずに済みますね。
Oh, it's so
ベアトリ
different.
ーチェはすごいね。
Is this really Rokkenjima? I would assume so, but its exterior is completely different, or at least it's a part that we've never seen before. But it does look quite different from the mansion, the Ushiryomiya mansion that we know.
壊れた壺を直すなんて造作もないんだね。
そんなことはありませんよ。壊れてしまったものを元に戻すのはとても難しいことです。私の魔法は一時それを思い出させるだけに過ぎませんよ。
でも壺はちゃんと元通りになったよ。
そうですね。ですがそれは壺が壊れたという運命を回避させたわけではありません。壊れた壺に一時壊れる前の姿を思い出させるだけに過ぎません。壊れた運命を元の姿に修復するほどの魔力は、このベアトリーチェにも未だ至らぬ遥かな高みなのです。
At that time, the high-pitched scream of a servant could be heard from the inside of the mansion. When I went to see what had happened, I noticed that several of the servants had gathered and were cleaning up the remains of the broken vase. From what they said, it seemed that a black cat had sneaked in from somewhere, climbed up on the vase, and it toppled over. I understood the meaning of what Beatrice had said. At the time that I broke the vase had been broken. Beatrice had shown me that the vase had been restored, but that had been a temporary thing. It didn't mean the fate that the vase had been broken had changed. As a result, the fate had remembered its true fate and broke. I wonder how we can apply this line of reasoning to what we have learned so far. But I hadn't broken it. Instead, it had been a cat which had snuck in. That's right. Beatrice hadn't said, "Let's mend the vase." She had said she would make it so that I didn't have to be punished. The fate of the vase breaking hadn't changed, but the fact that I had broken it certainly had. Beatrice had skillfully saved me from danger with that magic.
物を壊すことはとても容易なことです。姫様が壺を割るのに魔法を必要としなかったように。
直すことはとても難しいこと？
はい。姫様が途方に暮れて泣き出してしまうほどに。
魔法というのは恐ろしいことをする時の方がたやすいの？壊したり殺したりすることは簡単にできるのに、直したり蘇らせたりするのはとても難しいというし。
そうですね。魔法は殺めたり壊したりすることの方がとても簡単です。故に誘惑に負ける弱き魔女たちは安易に身につけられる力に酔い、本当の魔法の修行を怠ってしまいます。本当の魔法とは治す力、蘇らせる力、散ってしまった幸せを呼び戻し、冷めてしまった愛をも呼び戻す。そして微笑を忘れてしまった姫様の顔に笑顔を呼び戻せるのですよ。
なら壺を直すことができたベアトリーチェはすごい魔女ということ？
私などまだまだ修行の日々ですよ。壺が割れるという運命を私の魔法ではほんの1時間も忘れさせることができなかったのですから、私に魔法を教えてくれたお師匠様ならきっと永遠に壺を元の姿に蘇らせることができたでしょうね。
I wonder who her master is then.
壊れても壊れても何度 度でも何度でも直せる？
ええ。その境地に達した時、無限の魔力が備わるでしょう。
Again, endlessness.
それこそが魔女の達するべき無限の境地。私たちはその魔女を最大の敬いをもってこう呼びます。
無限の魔女。
Oh my goodness, I got goosebumps. Beatrice is an endless witch.
そうです。無限に治す力を持つ魔女にとって壊れるという概念はもはや存在しない。失うというすべての悲しみから解放され、永遠の至福を約束されるのです。
I wonder why Beatrice, our Beatrice, sometimes seems so miserable. Certainly, the human world is full of sadness caused by separation and loss. To escape that sadness, people pray to God and ask for the power to withstand the sadness, believing it to be a test. In other words, a human's life is a journey, searching for a way to withstand sadness. In that case, a witch who could revive all things would be freed from all sadness in the world. In other words, it is eternal bliss.
私もベアトリーチェみたいな魔女になって永遠に幸せになれるかな。
姫様がですか？それは長い大変な修行となりますよ。
私魔女になりたい。幸せになりたい。ベアトリーチェの弟子になりたい。
そのお気持ちにいささかの揺らぎもありませんか？
はい、私も魔女になりたいです。
わかりました。では姫様がお湧きになるまで私の弟子にして差し上げましょう。私のことをお師匠様と呼べますか？
はい、お師匠様。
良い返事ですね。ではこれからは私と一緒に魔法の深淵を学んでいきましょう。私とって修行の身。共に魔法を正しく学び、至福の境地を目指して頑張りましょう。はい、
お師匠様。
I'm still wondering what is happening and who this person that we are experiencing the story from, the POV. Who is this person? And this person in front of us is Beatrice, but she is not the Beatrice we know. Oh, it's fading into black and white. A flashback? I mean, clearly it is, but just what is it? Oh, back to the tea party. I think I am right. I feel like I was right.
夢。
I knew it! Oh my god. Goosebumps. What? Oh, why do I feel tears coming up into my eyes?
懐かしい顔だ。
Endless Witch, was it? A name that I had yearned for in the past as the highest achievement, now just another one of my titles. No, you can't even call it a name. So I am right. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was scary.
その呼び名に充足を感じるのもおつなものかもしれない。長き修行の日々の果てに得たものではないか。
So, I don't know if Beatrice is a human that trained to become a witch, or if they're all just witches.
たまにはありがたみを感じれば少々もったいないというものよ。
I shook my head lightly. If it is called the highest level, that means that there is nothing higher. An eternal dead end? The beginning of eternal boredom.
お師匠様は言っていたが、すべての悲しみから解き放たれることが、すなわち永遠の至福だ。だからこそ、お師匠様はその域に至れなかった。
She sure has become quite jaded. She's so different from who she used to be. But then again, people do grow. I wonder what happened to Beatrice along the way. Eternal bliss means eternal boredom. That's the beginning of eternal torture. But perhaps all things depend on your point of view. Eternal boredom is the same as a sketchbook that doesn't run out of pages. It means you can draw whatever you want, can put in as much effort to enjoy it as you want. Boredom is the worst poison that kills all witches. To the great witches who'd hold the title Lady, this is frighteningly true. And I think all the 3 witches we've met so far have Lady as the title, right? It is the eternal poison that tortures them because of the eternal bliss that they have reached.
無限の魔女の名を得た今だからこそ、再びお師匠様と語らいたいものよ。我らの修行の果てにあったのは本当に幸せだった。そして本当の幸せとは何なのか、今こそ語り合いたいものよ。
I wonder why she can't talk to her master. Training has no end. When you think you have reached the eternal level, that is the time to regret your immaturity. As if in answer to my own words, a memory of her saying something like that entered my mind.
なるほど。わらわは未熟か。それはよい、それはよい。
Oh, some painfully shrill laughter could be heard. It was from my furniture. Did they break their toy again? What toy?
ベアトリーチェ様、こいつまた動かなくなっちゃいました。
They sure are scary.
まだ私、全然遊び足りないのに。情けない男。私なんか全然遊んでないのに。
They are surely expressing more of their personalities now.
私にも遊ばせて、遊ばせて。お黙りなさい、クズどもが。
You filth.
お前たちが飢えた犬みたいにがっつくから、いくらベアトリーチェ様が直してもすぐ壊しちゃうのよ。
Now I'm wondering just what is happening. Because now we know that Beatrice can fix people endlessly, as her title says. So piecing together what we learned from episode 1, which is that they have done it over and over again before, then does it mean that Beatrice has been playing with the entire Ushiromiya family for perhaps an eternity? Who knows? But at the same time, I don't know. How can I deny what is right in front of me? It feels so difficult.
サタン姉が一番壊してるよ。加減を知らないから。
I like her voice.
申し訳ございません、ベアトリーチェ様。グマイどもをどうかお許しください。
早くこいつを直して。次は私、次は私。
静かにせぬか、やかましい。
They really act like little kids in front of a mother. Just from that single yell, the noisy sisters of the Seven Sticks disappeared and hid. They just mess around, having as much fun as they want breaking him. They only come to me to clean up afterwards. I wonder if him is Battler. Good grief, my furniture doesn't let me get bored. What remained after the pieces of furniture hid themselves was just a sloppy mess that was all that remained of the broken toy. It had no form anymore.
このざまではわらわとて元の姿を思い出すのも難しい。当の本人に思い出させるのが一番か。やれやれ。
I waved my golden pipe, and I told. I chanted. I made it remember.
さあさあ、思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。何しろわらわには、今のそなたは肉の残骸の山にしか見えぬのでな。どれが腕やら足やら、見当もつかぬ。そなたが思い出してくれなければ、わらわにはそなたの面影も思い出せぬ。
By the power of the magic, the pitiful pieces of meat began to remember what their form had been. Who was connected to who? Where was joined up with where? That's right, just like that. No, you should be a finger on the left hand. And you, the right hand. That's it. Good.
おはよう。目が覚めたか？後ろ宮バトラー。
Oh my goodness, I knew it. I called it. Goodness.
もっとも、目が覚めた方が悪夢の中とは、実に皮肉な話だがな。
It just makes me wonder just how have the sisters been playing with Battler that he ended up in such a horrific, formless shape.
わらわを魔女と認めさえすれば、すぐにそなたの悪夢を覚まし、天国へ誘ってやろうぞ。
Knowing a bit of Beatrice's backstory now makes me wonder why she is so hell-bent on making Battler accept her as a witch. It doesn't seem like she needs anyone to really accept her as a witch, but I mean, she is the endless witch. She has attained the highest form of magic and everything else. So why is she so stuck on this? It's something interesting.
わらわこそは煉獄山の王。わらわの許しなしにこの地獄より抜け出す方法はないのだ。
この程度で地獄かよ。ダメだな。ああ、全然ダメだぜ。
人ならば一度しか味わわずに済む死の苦しみを、もう両手の指では数えきれぬほど与えられたというのに、よくもそれだけの減らず口を叩けるものよ。だからこそ飽きぬ。そなたには飽きぬのよ。
ああ、全然飽きねえぜ。何しろ太ももの眩しいバインバインの姉ちゃんたちがよりどりみどりのハーレム状態なんだからよ。おかげさまでまるで退屈しねえぜ。
それはよかった。そうでなくてはわらわも退屈だ。それ家具ども直してやったぞ。また存分に遊ぶがよい。
ありがとうございます。私がいただき。だからあんたは終わりよ終わり。次は私なの。 どきなさいよ。
Aw, poor Leviathan. She seems like she's getting bullied by her sisters all the time.
素敵よね、バトラくん。モテモテじゃない。
モテる男は辛いぜ。畜生ども。順番に並びやがってんだ。
虚勢など張らずに素直になればもっと楽になれるのに。
いいのよ、これで。その方が悲鳴が気持ちいいもの。
さあ、今度は簡単に壊すんじゃないわよ。いいわね、返事は？あんたが仕切るんじゃないわよ。さあ、バトラ君、さっきの続きよ。マスターキーでジェシカちゃんの部屋を施錠した後、どうやって室内の死体のポケットに鍵を戻したというの？
Is this how they are breaking him by making him solve the locked room mysteries? Oh goodness. That's insane. That's insane. After locking Jessica's room with the master key, how did they return the key to the pocket of the corpse, which was inside their room? Let's hear Battler's answer. Because I've answered it already.
例えばよ、そうさ、釣り糸か何かを使って鍵だけを扉の隙間から室内に戻して。
That's a very creative answer from Battler.
甘いな。六軒島に存在するすべての扉は鍵が通り抜けられる隙間などない。
Are you serious? Are you serious? That's not even a realistic door anymore. What kind of mansion has Kinzo been constructing all this time? With no cracks or a key to slip through? And here we see Belphegor able to use the Writ Truth. That's interesting.
外れたね、外れたね。さあ、今度は私の番なのよ。どこを貫いちゃおうかな。
So one answer wrong, he loses something.
私、手の甲。
What?
ずるい。じゃあ反対の手の甲。
What's happening?
私は花の頭をもらっちゃおっと。なんで私にもやらせて、私にも貫かせて。レビア姉はトロいのよ。いつだって私たちは早い者勝ちでしょうが。じゃあ私は足の甲をいただいちゃおっと。私は肩をもらっちゃうからいいもん。
What a cruel game they play.
姉妹なんだろ。仲良くしやがるってんだ。
ほう、よくも耐えるものだな。お前のその痩せ我慢がむしろ私たちを楽しませているだけだとなぜ気づかない。
あいにくだな。痩せ我慢と意地の張り合いは俺のお箱なんだ。お前らがどう俺を煙に巻こうとも、俺は絶対に魔女も魔法も認めねえ。
Battler is infinitely stronger than I am, considering how he has seen everything and he still wouldn't accept witches and magic. He is truly something else. I'm losing my will here every time I sit in front of my screen and I see Beatrice whip up her magic and everything. I lose my will all the time, but I try my best for Battler.
人間とトリックで何も説明できないくせに。バッカじゃないの。 この身の程知らずが。いいのよ、無理に認めさせなくても。今に泣きながら認めたくなるわ。今だって本当は哀れに土下座しながら許しを請いたいくせに。
もう壊しちゃった。ベアトリーチェ様。
やれやれ、わらわがいくらでも蘇らせられることを知っているからかぐ困ったもの。
Endless rebirths give me free reign over endless deaths too. Before the endless witch Beatrice, all death and life has no meaning. Even death can't serve as the key to escape from my cage.
さあバトラー、再び元の姿を思い出すがいい。何度でももて遊んでやるぞ。なるほどなるほど、永久に遊べる玩具とは実に愉快よ。なるほどな。これが無限の境地に至った魔女が得る至福の境地とやらなのか。
Why do I feel like Beatrice has gone the complete opposite direction of what her master told her about the endless bliss?
なるほどなるほど、これは確かに愉快で至福だ。何度でも蘇らせてやる。何度でも殺してやる。さて、次なるゲーム版ではどのような殺人劇を繰り広げよう。さあ、新しきゲーム版を持て。次なるゲームを始めようではないか。後ろ宮バトラー。
And we are back with the opening. Days as a young girl, 1986. I wonder who it is then. We're at sea. Going back to
やれ
Rokkenjima.
姉貴のタバコ嫌いにも参ったもんだ。
すまんな。夕べからカリカリしとるんや。気にせんでやってくれんか。
Rudolph and Hideyoshi went out onto the deck and took out some cigarettes. Eva had always hated the smell of cigarettes, but when she was in a bad mood, she got even more oversensitive. The two of them had attempted to spend some relaxed time smoking until they made it to the island, but they had gotten yelled at and chased out onto the deck. Very good, very good. Eva, teach them a lesson. Secondhand smoking, pretty bad. Hideyoshi tried to use his lighter, but it didn't go well with all the strong winds on the deck. Rudolph took out a Zippo with a stylish gesture and let Hideyoshi borrow the flame.
秀吉兄さんはいつ頃からタバコ？
戦後すぐや。最初はタバコを転がしとってな。自分の売り物に手をつけてしまったわけや。
The humble origins of Hideyoshi the businessman.
じゃあ姉貴と会った時にはもう吸ってたわけだ。姉貴には随分やめろやめろと言われたでしょ。
I actually wonder, is there a way to disable this? It's kind of making me dizzy.
わしが聞く耳持たんもんだから、あれももうすっかり諦めよった。なやはり男は強情でなくてはあかんな。
Hideyoshi laughed heartily, but Rudolph chuckled. After being scolded by Eva and told to smoke outside, they had dejectedly fled to the deck altogether. There was almost no doubt he was under her thumb.
普段はあそこまで短気じゃないんや。いや、普段はもっと温和なおとなしい女なんやで。毎年毎年この日になると人が変わりよるんや。
そうなんですか？ 俺らがよく知る昔からの姉貴そのものに見えますがね。
そうや。後ろ宮家のエヴァに戻るんや。でもそれはわしと一緒のエヴァとは違うんや。
Oh, that makes sense. It makes sense then why or how Hideyoshi can put up with Eva. Sometimes I wonder.
まあカリカリする気持ちもわかります。今回の親族会議は面倒だ。
そうやな。あのクラウス兄さんから金を脅し取ろうっちゅう計画や。親族会議なんて名ばかりの、これはただの兄弟喧嘩や。
With a family conference ahead of them, the three siblings excluding Kraus had made a secret contract. Each of them had a pressing situation to deal with and urgently needed a lot of money. And the only person who could help them was Kraus, who spoke for the Ushiromiya head since Kinzo was shut up in his study. They had long felt that Kraus had started taking advantage of Kinzo's loss of interest in his own wealth and was embezzling that wealth for his own use. When everything had been going well for the siblings, even though they had found it detestable, they had pretended not to notice. But now that they needed money, they couldn't just quietly accept that. Eva had called Rudolph and Rosa into an alliance, and they were planning to exploit that knowledge in order to draw money out of Kraus. That's exactly what happened in episode 1.
わしも、そしてルドルフ君も社長や。社員の生活を背負っとる身や。
ローザも社長ですよ。
Oh, Rosa is?
ま、道楽ですね。
As a hobby?
そうやな、失礼。つまり、わしらは誰もが背負うものを持っとるっちゅうことや。
俺も幹部連中の前で単価を切った以上、土下座しても、泥をすすってでも、金を引っ張ってこなきゃならない。
It's curious that Rudolph has been speaking so softly outside. I wonder why. But also, his words has always been kind of odd because it really seems like he would do anything. He would do anything to get money. And now it just hit me that he might kill for money too, huh?
お互い様や。わしもわしを信じてついてきてくれた社員たちを裏切れ。それこそクラウス兄さんの首根っこを掴んででも金を引っ張り出さんといかんのや。
姉貴は昔っから兄貴とは犬猿だ。その兄貴と全面対決しなくちゃならねえんだから、そりゃカリカリもするだろうよ。
やっぱりエヴァはクラウス兄さんとは昔っから仲が悪かったんか？
I'm sure all of them are on bad terms with each other, to be honest. It's just that they don't show it, but it does seem like the other three siblings, at least, don't really like their oldest brother very much.
本人話しませんか？そりゃもう盛大に。
昔の話は聞いても話してくれんのや。思い出したい話がないんやろな。
姉貴は昔っから容量も良くて頭が良かった。成績も良かった。それに比べ兄貴は盆栽だった。ただそばにいるだけでも十分にプレッシャーだったろう。兄貴はわざわざそれを誇示して兄貴を追い詰めていた。
アホやな。なんでそない敵外心むき出しで追い詰めるんや。そういうのは容量がいいとは言わん。
確かに兄貴は女に生まれたことを悔やんでた。だから男というだけの理由で当主を継ぐことが決まっている兄貴が多分許せなかったんだ。
I can't understand why Eva does regret.
だからことあるごとに自分の方が優秀であると親父に誇示していたっけ。
I guess she does it because she wants Kinzo to acknowledge that a woman can be just as good, or even better, than a man. But such unfortunate times that we live in.
お父さんは古いタイプの人や。男女には差別的な価値観を持っとった。自己顕示の強いエヴァは少々嫌われてたんとちゃうか？
Oh no, I have a bad feeling, to be honest. Are we going to go for a flashback? Seems so.
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。
I feel like I'm gonna cry, so I'm gonna be prepared. But I have a feeling that, well, knowing Kinzo, it might be something like how a woman has to be seen, not heard, just like children, isn't it? And so, with Eva trying to prove herself to Kinzo, she basically goes against his views on what a woman should be like. And that's why she probably had a really hard time. And in the end, it's really just that cycle of abuse that keeps on continuing, right? Because Kinzo takes his anger out on Kraus, Kraus takes his anger out on Eva, and so on. It just continues on. And it's horrible. But I kind of went a bit off topic there, but yes, let's continue with Kraus.
ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
Well, I should have known Kraus would be misogynistic. He does have Kinzo as his father. Since you can still drink black tea without sugar, it was exactly the same as saying that study was unnecessary for a woman. Those infuriating words were ones that my older brother had abused me with when I had been in despair, wanted to go to college but denied by father. I hate this already. I had protested that advancing to college was essential if I was to acquire the education and class befitting the eldest daughter of the Ushiromiya family. But the replies I received from father and my brother were, in summary, exactly the same. How conceited for a woman. Since the time I was born into the Ushiromiya family, I hadn't taken that name lightly even once. And furthermore, nor had I ever taken lightly father's name, Ushiromiya Kinzo. It was an old family with a long history, but it had lost all its wealth and its business in the Great Kanto earthquake and almost sank for a time. Father, with his ingenious talent, had taken control and revived it to be even greater than it had been before. I hadn't forgotten even once what it meant to be the daughter of that great Ushiromiya Kinzo. Therefore, I had always made every effort to become worthy of that name, class-worthy of the Ushiromiya family. Schooling, manners, and leadership. Even if I was far from reaching father's level, I deepened my knowledge in economics and finance and tried to improve myself so that I could help out with that at any time. However, in the end, there never came a time when father acknowledged that. To father, a woman was only meant to support a man, and nothing further than that was permissible. I wonder when it was that I understood that. I probably understood it ever since I was a young girl. But to truly accept it, I had to wait until I had grown up. Compared to my own effort, you couldn't have said that Kraus, as my older brother by 2 years, tried at all to become deserving of the Ushiromiya family name. Ever since we were young, my brother kept saying that it was natural that he'd succeed father just because he was born a man. He just kept repeating that as though it were an absolute gap between us. I couldn't stand it. Even though I always got better grades than my brother. Even though I became class president while he was stuck as vice president of his class. Even so, my brother was considered to be the appropriate person to succeed the Ushiromiya family just because he was born a man. Of course, you could get away with gender discrimination in those days. No, it was even considered a virtue in those days. It was a time when women were looked down upon, and it was said that when a woman is born, she is to obey her parents. When she gets married, she is to obey her husband, and when she gets old, she is to obey her children. I remember this line, and I think it might have been Natsuhi, in reference to Natsuhi. But because that way of thinking existed, I wanted to overturn it. Oh my. No, I really feel like I want to root for Eva. Even though Eva is still kind of an asshole. Innocently, I kept trying to prove that I was the most fit. However, eventually, I realized that all of my efforts were doomed from the beginning.
女の学力は紅茶の砂糖にも似ていると思わないかね。
I wish someone would just punch Krause and make him shut up.
ないのも味気ないが、過ぎれば紅茶の味わいを大いに損なう。
それはどういう意味よ、兄さん。
男には男にしか務められないことがあるように、女とて女にしか務められないことがあるんじゃないかね。子を産み育て一家の主を支えるのは女でなければできぬ務めだと思うがね。
He raises an interesting point that I can counter, but I'm not gonna do that right now. That might be too much.
女には勉強や仕事をする必要がないと言いたいの？
そこまでは言わんよ。無学な女など話していても疲れるだけだ。
Krause is basically unschooled, so he shouldn't be saying such things.
だが、あまり頭が良すぎる女はもっと疲れる。お前のように自己主張の激しい女では、未来の夫もさぞや苦労すると思うのだがね。
女は結婚して夫の陰にいろとそう言いたいの？余計なお世話よ。
Tell him off, Eva.
お前が親父殿を尊敬していて、その娘としてふさわしくありたいと思う気持ちは、私にも尊敬できることだ。
気持ち悪い。何が私よ。この間まで俺だったくせに、もう当主気取りなの？
当主は私が継ぐことに最初から決まっている。にもかかわらず、お前は自分も当主になれるかのように錯覚して。
暴走した努力ですって。私が大学院に進みたいと言い出すのがそんなにもおかしいっていうの？あ
あ、おかしいね。お前は確かに栄光ある後宮家の長女だよ。やがてはその家紋を背負って父にとって最も価値ある相手と婚約することになるだろう。だがそこで求められるのは過剰な学識ではない。夫をいたわる優しい気持ちと家事能力、そして一家の長を立てる控えめな態度だ。お前にはそれが完全に欠落している。それは後宮家の令嬢として果たしてふさわしいことなのかね。
私は真相の令嬢のつもりなんかないわよ。お父様の仕事を手伝ってあげられる最高の人間でありたいと思っただけよ。
ならそれは後宮家令嬢としてふさわしくあるべきではないのかね。お前ときたらなんだね。いい年をして未だに男勝りで、家事炊事はおろか男を喜ばせる化粧一つ身につけていないじゃないか。
Krause should wear some makeup to please Natsuhi instead.
最近は喧嘩の稽古までしてるというじゃないかね。
Oh, that's why Eva knows how to fight. Okay. Now, oh my goodness, I think I'm too impressionable right now. I feel like I just went from hating Eva to completely wanting to root for her just so that she could smack some sense into Krause. But then I know that eventually we will see some backstory to Krause, and then I will regret hating Krause and then root for Krause instead. That would kind of suck if Krause actually ends up to be a good guy, but then again, humans are complex, so he might have that side to him. But goodness, it seems like my tier lists are gonna be changing, ever changing, for sure.
失礼な。喧嘩じゃないわよ。 武道は心の修練に最適なのよ。それに、叱るべき場に出るときは十分女として気を使ってるわよ。何が言いたいのよ。女は男に仕える奴隷であれと、しゃしゃり出るなと、そう言いたいわけ？
それを認めるのはエレガントではないが、お前の勘違いを正すには少々毒のある言葉も必要かと思うよ。だから言い切ろう。女は男に仕えるために存在する。
I want to reach through my screen and strangle Kraus right now.
そして男は女を養うために存在する。女の仕事は男の背中を守り、家庭を守って子を育てることだ。それは本来言葉で気づかされることではない。おのずと気づくことだ。しかしお前はいくつになってもそれを自覚しなかったな。だから社会に出る前に兄である私がその誤解を解くのだよ。感謝してほしいものだね。
Guys, I want you to know that I'm holding myself back from physically reaching over and punching Kraus, but I shall save all my thoughts for the end.
それは全ての女への侮辱よ。いえ、私は自分のことを女だと思ったことなどないし、女だからと甘えたことなど一度もない。私のどこが兄さんに劣っているというの？成績も経歴も何もかも私の方が勝っていて、ただ男である以上の何も持たない兄さんが私の何を見下せるっていうのよ。
身の程をわきまえているか否かだよ。私は次の当主としての心構えを日々養っている。それは将来必ず必要になることだ。だがお前は違う。嫁ぎ後ろ宮の席を失うことが決まっているくせに、何がそんなに不満なんだ。仮に男に生まれようとも当主を継ぐのはお前ではないだろうに、お前は何がそんなにも不満で私に突っかかってくるのか。
何が不満かですって？兄さんはいつも自分は当主後継ぎだからと私を見下して、そのくせ
What's so unsatisfying, he says. A billion grudges, hard feelings, humiliations that I'll never forget crossed through the back of my mind. And all of them built up at the same time, coming out of my throat as nothing more than a shameful moan.
何事か、想像し。
Kinzo, another asshole, has appeared.
沈黙を尊ぶのは神だけではないぞ。
お父さん。
お父様。
Our sibling fight was probably overheard. Father entered with a clearly displeased face.
クラウス、また兄弟喧嘩か。お前にはなぜに弟や妹たちを率いる貫禄が宿らぬのか。情けない。長男が聞いては切れるぞ。
In a flash, he struck Krause's face. Well, I was gonna say he did a good job telling Krause off, but I don't approve of this. I prepared myself to be struck in the same way, but I wasn't hit.
申し訳ありません、お父さん。
お前に足りぬのは貫禄だけではない。まだまだ足りぬ。何もかもが未熟だ。にもかかわらず一人前を気取っておる。それを語るには100年早いことを肝に銘じ、研鑽に努めよ。わしをこれ以上息子の不出来で嘆かせるでないぞ。
はい、お父さんの後を継ぐにふさわしい人間になれるようさらに努力します。
It was as if those words were directed at me. Even when he was being yelled at by father, he was still bragging to me about how he was special, about how he was the successor. I just couldn't stand it and finally spoke what was on my mind. Even though I realized that this was improper for a person of the Ushiromiya family.
お父様、教えてください。私の何が劣っているというのですか？私はお父様の名に恥じない人間になれるよう 今日まであらゆる勉強と努力を重ねてまいりました。どうか私にも何が劣っているのかお教えください。私はこれ以上何を身につけたならお父様に認めていただけるのですか？
I feel so sorry for Eva because there is nothing else that she can do to improve herself except change her gender and it's so sad that women have to lament that and wish that they were born as a different gender, that women are the wrong gender or that they are inferior, and it's still so prevalent across the world even now.
またその話か。お前には何と言えばわかるのだ。お前に期待していることなど何もない。女は女らしく料理や裁縫を学んでおればいい。貴様には女の心構えがないのだ。夫に仕えようとする気心が男に尽くそうという海外しさが全く感じられぬ。何のための女なのか。
You know, it just hit me, but Natsuhi is kind of like the opposite of Eva, in that Natsuhi completely devotes herself to Kraus, and that might also explain why Eva is so hateful towards Natsuhi.
後ろ宮家の令嬢であることを自覚しておるのか。なのに学びたがることは男の真似事ばかり。お前の役割はクラウスの真似事ではないのだぞ。お前には自らの役割が分かっているのか。
私は後ろ宮家の人間としてお父様の名に恥ずかしくない。
その時点でもう間違っておるわ。貴様の役割は家を出て嫁ぎ、わしにとって有益な男を連れてくることだ。そして夫に尽くし子を産み増やせ。夫の一族に褒めたたえられる良妻であれ。お前に男を喜ばせる何ができるというのか。茶の作法があるというのか。料理の才能があるというのか。何もない。お前がやっているのはみんなクラウスの真似事ばかりではないか。後ろ宮家はクラウスが継ぐ。お前がそれに不満を唱えるというのなら、それはこの私に逆らうということだ。お前は我が娘でありながら父の言うことを聞けぬというのか。出て行け。感動だ。お前に後ろ宮など語らせん。感動だ感動だ。
お父さん、しっかり落ち着いてください。源氏さん、水を持ってきてもらえますか。
はい、ただいま。
エヴァ、席を外せ。本心ではないさ。私がなだめておく。
感動だ。私の言うことが危険なら感動だ。
As father struggled with a fit of heavy coughs, my brother patted his back, as if that were naturally his duty. It was so vexing for me, then, to let him monopolize that duty. If I approached father carelessly, I would probably be hit again. However, I fearlessly tried to approach father's back. Genji blocked me.
エヴァ様、今は席をお外しになられた方が良いでしょう。親方様は今日はご機嫌がよくありません。
なぜに私の息子たちはこうも不出来なのか。クラウスは貫禄が足りず、エヴァはいつまでたってもじゃじゃ馬だ。男らしい男はおらず、女らしい女もいない。私の育て方がいつどこでどう間違ったのか。なぜだ源氏。私は何をいつどこでどう間違えたというのか。
親方様は何もお間違いになってはおりません。クラウス様はたくましいご子息に、エヴァ様は麗しいご令嬢に成長されました。何もお間違いにはなっておりません。
I just realized, but they haven't mentioned Rudolph or Rosa, so are they not born yet?
俺のどこが麗しいというのか。淑女どころか男の真似事ばかり。感動だ感動だ。
お父さん、それは私からよくエヴァに言い聞かせたところです。
Oh my, look at Kraus trying to butter Kinzo up.
エヴァもこれからは心を入れ替えてレディーとして振る舞うと約束してくれました。
But there he goes again, that in the end he still, I guess, is trying to help Eva out a bit so that she doesn't get disinherited. So that's a bit of a good thing from Kraus.
どうかもう少しの猶予をいただけませんか。
何がレディーだ。感動だ感動だ。
Go quickly and I'll handle this for you. Kraus gave me a look telling me that. Did I take the wrong path, just like father and my brother had said? They were right that I had never studied how to be a lady. Everything I had learned was because I'd hoped that I could help father someday. Wait, was that really the case? Hadn't I always held a growing sense of rivalry with my brother, with whom I'd had a bad relationship since I was a young girl? And wasn't I just trying to get the better of him by stealing his position as successor to the head? Every time my brother told me that men should be manly and women should be womanly, I had been tormented by this unreasonable discrimination because of my sex, something I was born with and I couldn't do anything about. I had resisted, had endeavored to study until today so that I could prove that I wasn't inferior, even though I was a woman. In that case, wasn't the basis of my love of learning just a boring inferiority complex towards my brother? Father had expected me to be a lady with whom he could go out in public and not be embarrassed. Had I betrayed that expectation and earned grades to intimidate my brother just to clear away that pent-up resentment from my childhood? Oh? Eva?
違うわ。
Who is this?
私が後宮家の跡継ぎになるんだって。あなたは私に誓ったわ。あんたは。
The one who came whispering to me was myself, born in my heart on the day I made that vow. Myself on that day as a little girl. Oh my god, guys, I'm gonna cry. I feel so sad for Eva, who is living the worst possible life just because she was born the wrong gender. And the world that she is in that makes it so impossible for her to succeed just because she's a woman. Well, I didn't expect to start crying in the very first chapter of episode 3, but here we are. That's right. She was my only ally. Whenever I was suffering, whenever I felt like I could take no more, she would always quietly appear and take my side. Whenever I found myself with my head in my hands, stumbling over difficult problems, she would always appear and support me. As I had grown and forgotten my time as a girl, I'd also begun to forget my conversations with her.
私、後宮エヴァは絶対に後宮家の当主になるの。そしてあのムカつく高慢ちきなクラウスを見返してやるの。そのために一緒に頑張ろうってあの日私たちは約束したわ。そうね、約束したわ。私は後宮家の当主跡継ぎになるってあの日にね。
Now I know why she doesn't want to talk about her past with Hideyoshi. On that day, when I had been overcome with sadness, wondering why I was even alive, you appeared inside me and lent me your strength.
お父様に認められたかった。兄さんの鼻を明かしてやりたかった。そうすれば、惨めな自分に決別ができると信じていたわ。
In those days, I had really believed that I had no other purpose in life than to be looked down upon by my brother. It's painful just remembering those days. The wound, the tear that split open in my heart. She taught me how to sew up that wound. I would change my anger into effort and improve myself. Become a person more worthy to be head than Kraus was. And triumph over him by making father accept me. The perfect revenge. I knew more or less that a woman couldn't succeed the head. But if I could become so superior that I could overturn that, then surely even father would select me to be his successor. If that happened, then I could have the greatest, ultimate, most perfect revenge against my brother, who always acted like it was completely natural for him to succeed the head.
そうすれば私たちの心の傷は癒えるの。その日まで頑張ろうって誓い合ったわ。なのに、あなたはその約束を破るの？クズ、育児なし、へそかんで死んじゃえば？
Oh, her other self is quite mean to her. Even though she has the form of my young self, she is still another me. And she has a sharp tongue, after all. She's me.
自分に言われても腹が立つわね。そこまでボロクソに言われる筋合いはないわ。ならばその怒りを勉強に費やしましょうよ。怒りを力に変えるのが私の魔法。
Magic, huh? Magic again.
この力で何度もあなたの窮地を救い、あなたはなせないはずのことを成し遂げてきた。私の魔法がある限り、あなたにできないことなどありはしないわ。そうね。怒りはいつも私の原動力だったわ。いつからそれを忘れてしまったのかしら。私を思い出せたなら、あの魔法の力は再び私たちのもの。さあ、その怒りを力に変えて、もっともっと勉強に励みましょう。きっと私たちにはまだまだ勉強が足りないのよ。大学院に進んでもっといっぱい勉強して優れた成績を出してクラウスを追い詰めてやりましょう。あいつなんでもなさそうな顔してるけど、きっと心は相当追い詰められてるわ。早く身の程を思い知って死んじゃえばいいのに。そうすれば私たちが当主になれる。ルドルフは辞退してくれるわ。
Oh, so Rudolph is here.
あの子は私には逆らえないもの。よして。もうこれ以上勉強してもお父様は私を認めてくれないのよ。どうして？お父様は私に女らしくしろと言っているのよ。私がどれだけ頑張ろうと、女である限り、たとえ私が兄さんより先に生まれていたとしても、私に当主を譲ることはないのよ。私がどれだけ努力を重ねようとも、私は女以上の何者にもなれない。認められない。何の努力もしない兄さんを超えられない。永遠に見下され続ける。お父様もクラウスも最低の男尊主義者だわ。早く死んじゃえばいいのに。
She would curse in my place. Words that I couldn't say carelessly, she would say for me. Even though I understood that she was just another part of myself inside of me, I felt like she was the only ally I had who would sympathize with me. However, while sympathy might calm my heart somewhat, it wouldn't do anything to improve my current situation. In the end, she could only console me when I was dejected by reality and for the amount of time I needed to accept it.
ありがとう。もう結構よ。こうとなったらお父様が驚くような淑女になってやるわ。兄さんなんかとは比べ物にならない立派な男を探して。
No, don't think like that, Eva.
ダメ、そんなの。
She rejected my timid thoughts. I know why. Because she is me. I know why.
お父様は少なくとも今は女に当主を継がせないと言っている。でもそれすらも所詮はお父様が決めたルールでしかないの。お父様が決めた以上、それを破棄できるのもお父様。人の気持ちなど浜のマサゴが尽きるよりはるかに早く変わるわ。クラウスが愚鈍な男であることは私たちが立証しなくてもやがてお父様も理解する。その時男女の境のくだらない垣根はそれを設けたお父様によって取り払われるの。その日は必ず来るわ。どうして必ずなんて言えるのよ。それが私の魔法だから。あなたが信じてくれさえすればこの魔法は必ず奇跡を呼ぶの。私の魔法の源はあなたの信じる心だけ。
If I can use that magic, then surely, until the day I die, I'll never have to doubt that someday I will become the head. But I don't know if that is the right thing for Ushiromiya Eva. Shouldn't I aim to become the kind of lady that father hoped for? Someone he can take out into society and boast about. Father might take a better view of me if I were reborn. Maybe my brother could find his own lifestyle, and I could find mine. Besides, no matter what, I just can't imagine that my father, stubborn as he is, would not only allow a woman to succeed the head, but also skip my older brother and select me for the headship.
信じないの？あのね、私思ったの。私には当主は告げないかもしれないけれど、私は女で子を産むことができるわ。そして兄さんには未だ縁談もない。
Oh no. Now I understand even more of why she hates Natsuhi.
もし兄さんに子供ができず、私だけが子供を産めたなら、兄さんの次の当主は私の子供ということになるでしょ？それはつまり、私が兄さんから当主の座を奪うのと同じ意味にならないかしら。本気で言ってるの？ええ、本気よ。少女時代からの決意を捨てるのは確かにとても悲しいこと。私の少女時代そのものであるあなたを裏切るのは、私も心苦しいわ。でも、それが一番現実的なのよ。
In that moment, my body changed, and I was no longer myself from back then, but as I am now, a wife and mother. Yes, this is a dream. Even so, she still possessed the same ambition and desire as always. She argued back, with her expression displaying clear displeasure at this change.
夢を捨てるの？そして私も捨てるの？捨てるんじゃない。私も大人になってあなたと決別する日が来たということよ。そうね。エヴァはもう大人になったわ。魔法の使い方さえ忘れてしまった。今は一児の母。自ら夢を叶える魔法を忘れ去って、その夢を息子に押し付けている。自らの人生をお父様やクラウスによってめちゃくちゃにされたくせに、あなたも自らの夢を息子に押し付けてめちゃくちゃにしようとしているの。それが大人というものなの？ジョージはどこに出しても恥ずかしくない自慢の息子よ。私には叶えられなかった夢を、ジョージなら叶えられるかもしれない。ジェシカなんて成績も貧困も不良じゃない。それに女なのよ。
It comes back full circle that now Eva looks at Jessica with the eyes of how Kinzo and Kraus once looked at her. Just because Jessica's a woman, she won't be able to succeed the Ushiromiya headship.
ジェシカさえ辞退してくれれば、ジョージが跡継ぎになることだって。
My heart pained, even as I said it. Aren't I just forcing my own regrets onto George? I don't have any right to disparage Jessica, and to hit her with the same words that had caused me so much suffering is just horrible. I understand. Wanting to triumphant over my brother was nothing more than my personal revenge. I mustn't use George for that.
だから、私自らが復讐するわ。ルドルフとローザを味方に、兄さんから金をせしめようという計画があるの。きっと一矢報いることができるわ。何しろ、兄さんがお父様の資産をつまみ食いしているのは確かなんだから。
つまんない計画。そんなのさっさとやめて泣き寝入りでもしちゃえば。私たちは後ろ宮家の当主になるの。その夢をごまかさないで。だから絶対に叶えられると私を信じて。私の魔法を信じて。
信じたら魔法は力を持つのかしら。
うん。私の魔法はどんな願いも必ず叶えるの。
信じるわ。信じるから。その魔法で奇跡を起こして。
Her words remind me that Brincastle is the witch of miracles.
そうでなくちゃ。私の心の傷は永久に癒されない。
うん。ならよく聞いて。私の魔法の言葉。そしてそれを理解して。謎が解けたなら、私たちは後ろ宮家の当主になれるの。だから、耳を澄ましてよく聞いて。
Do Eva know something more? Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved home of old. You who seek the golden land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. That is the epitaph.
エヴァ姉さん、
We're back to reality.
そろそろ着くみたいですよ。
As her shoulder was tapped by Kirie, Eva jumped and awoke from a doze.
ごめんなさいね。寝ぼけてたわ。驚かせてしまってごめんなさいね。
エヴァおばさん、ぐっすりでしたね。朝はだいぶ早かったんすか？
まあね。恥ずかしいところを見せちゃったわ。ごめんなさい。
眠れるくらい余裕があるのは大したもんだぜ。バートラなんかずっと落ちるーったの、沈むーったの。
I forgot Battler is scared of the boat.
まったく退屈しないやつだぜ。
うるせえな。人間誰しも苦手の一つや二つくらいあるもんだぜ。
Battler and Jessica went back out, squabbling merrily. Rudolph also made a face as if asking, "Are you all right?"
しっかりしろよ。親父たちの顔を見れば眠気もすっ飛ぶさ。せいぜいお互い頑張ろうぜ。
そうね。特に今年はしっかりしないとね。
だな。お互い鉄の穴を引き締めてかかろうぜ。
Rudolph said these strict words in a small voice that only Eva could hear. Failure would not be tolerated in this year's family conference. All of your companies were hanging in the balance. Even Rudolph's face looked a little tense. Eva's expression probably looked tense as well.
母さん、荷物を持つよ。甲板に上がろう。
ありがとう。ジョージは本当に気が利くわね。
どうして急にお礼なんか。母さんらしくもない。
エヴァ、ジョージ、到着やで。荷物をまとめるんや。
こらマリア、転ぶから走るのをやめなさい。
It seemed Maria was already getting excited. She ran circles around Hideyoshi, escaping from Rosa, who was trying to catch her. That's the epitaph. So what is the key? And who are the two?
どうしたの母さん。具合悪いの？
ジョージ、荷物を持って先に行ってなさい。母さんは貧血だろ。わしが肩を貸すわ。
そう、わかったよ。先に行ってるよ。
By looking at Eva's peculiar expression, Hideyoshi realized that it had not been a pleasant awakening and made George go on ahead. Rudolph's family and Rosa's family also went up onto the deck, leaving only Eva and Hideyoshi inside the boat. Eva had a vague expression on her face, as though she still hasn't been able to escape from her daydream. Oh?
どないしたんや。
I just got a trophy. What's wrong?
神妙な顔して。
私、ジョージを自分の復讐の道具にしてたんじゃないかしら。私の兄さんに対する子供じみた敵対心のせいで、あの子の人生を自分のおもちゃにしてしまってはいないかしら。ああ、私はなんてこと、なんてことを。
This is good. At least Eva has that self-awareness to know what she has done and seems to want to make some changes.
そんなことあらへん。ジョージはどこに出しても恥ずかしゅうないわしらの自慢の息子や。仮にエヴァの思惑が多少混じっとったとしても、結果オーライっちゅうもんやないか。エヴァはなんも悪うない。むしろジョージは厳しくしつけてくれたと感謝しとるくらいやで。
本当に？ねえ、本当？
She really seems quite different.
ジョージは私のこと嫌な母さんだと思ってないかしら？ねえ、ねえ、ねえ。
そんなことただの一度も口にしたことあらへんで。エヴァの杞憂や。
秀吉様、皆様下船なさっておりますよ。おや、何か落とし物ですか？お手伝いしましょうか？
Kumasawa had come to check on them when they hadn't come up to the deck. Hideyoshi hid Eva behind his back so that her expression couldn't be seen.
ああ、すまんな。ちょっとわしのネクタイピンがいかれてもうてな。もう大丈夫や。すぐ行くで。外で待っててや。
そうですか。それでは表でお待ちいたしております。
From that almost incomprehensible excuse, Kumasawa realized that something had come up and disappeared so that she didn't trouble them further. If they stayed here any longer, they would probably make everyone else worry too.
そろそろ行こうか。ジョージたちを心配させてまうで。
私、本当にジョージに恨まれてない？
ああ。恨まれてなんかあらへん。むしろ感謝しとるぞ。悪い夢でうなされたんか。また。
Hideyoshi knew that it wasn't rare for Eva to be tormented by nightmares, and they would always become more striking on the days leading up to the family conference. Hideyoshi knew that Eva's relationship with Kraus was still so full of antagonism that it could even be called trauma, and that she still couldn't separate herself from how she'd felt as a child.
それは夢や。わしが一緒にいる。こうして手をギューッと握っとったら、 そんな夢もどっか行ってしまうで。
My goodness. I feel so happy that Hideyoshi is the good man that he is, and that Eva has Hideyoshi to support her. That the supportive environment that she didn't get as a child, she at least has it now with her wonderful family. So that is one thing going good for Eva at the very least, which is also something that separates Eva from Rosa's situation, where Rosa doesn't have that supportive environment even now.
な、ほら。
痛いわ。ありがとう。もう平気よ。降りましょう。
ああ、降りよか。みんな待たせてるで。
ごめんなさい。
ん？
さっき、あなたのタバコの煙のこと、怒鳴ってごめんなさい。
普段ならそんなことで謝らんくせに、悪い夢見た後のお前は気弱でいかん。気にするなや。お前に煙が届いていることを気づかんかったわしが悪いんや。
私のこと、嫌いになった？
ならんならん。この程度で嫌いなんて言うとったら3日もたんで。ささ、たったたった。折れるで、折れるで。
秀吉様、エヴァ様、大丈夫ですか？お体が優れませんか？
This time, Goda had come. It looked like they had kept everyone waiting too long after all. Eva also stood up without grumbling this time. She couldn't kept on forcing her bad mood onto her husband and causing him more trouble, because that was not something a good wife should do or would do.
大丈夫ですか？体調が気になられるようでしたら、南條先生をお呼びしましょうか。
ありがとう。ちょっと貧血気味でね。もう大丈夫よ。
婦人病中やっちゃ。気にせんといてや。
もう、そんなの人に言わないでよ。恥ずかしいわ。
おお、すまんすまん。
Eva elbowed Hideyoshi in the gut. By that time, her normal expression had returned, which allowed Hideyoshi to relax a little. The bright sunlight outside was almost enough to really make a person go giddy. A small plank was lowered to get off the boat, and Goda was waiting there, smiling and ready to lend them a hand.
どうぞエヴァ様、お手を。
ありがとう。
六軒島へようこそいらっしゃいました。
おかえりなさい。
Oh, who's... Is that not her young self? When she left the boat, it seemed to Eva as though she had heard the voice of her young self saying, "Welcome back." No, it hadn't seemed that way. Someone had said, "Welcome back," to her. After becoming a shameless adult, the voice of her young self was distant.
私は何のために生きてるの？何をどうすれば私はこの猛襲から解き放たれるというの？
Hideyoshi heard her talking to herself. He drew Eva close to him by her shoulder, and just by his firmness, he communicated that there was no need to say anything more. Maybe it was because the typhoon was getting closer. The lively cries of the seagulls, which usually greeted them when they arrived, couldn't be heard at all. And we end the very first chapter. And there's a clock. Now it's 2 o'clock. My preparations are already complete.
6年前のことか。
Well, I'm gonna end here for today. It's been a very heavy episode for me to take, and right at the very beginning as well, just the first chapter of episode 3 has me bawling so hard. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it was really hard to go through Eva's thoughts as she talked to her young self. That was really painful for me, and I just really wish that Eva can stay strong and not give in. But it seemed that in her adulthood she has already forgotten her dreams and has become, like you said, a shameless adult. She has forgotten the dream that she and her young self has promised to work towards, which is to become the head of the family. She has forgotten about it because she has forgotten that little bit of idealism and optimism that she can still hold on to. Instead, she is stuck in her reality, and the only way that she can one-up Kraus is by pushing her dreams, hopes and dreams onto George, which is also something that some parents would do because of the things that they couldn't do as a child, right? And I see that here with Eva. But at the same time, we all know it's not good to push your own hopes or dreams onto someone else. Because, like she said, you could mess with your life when it's not your right to interfere with what they choose to do. But the good thing is that Eva is self-aware at the very least, and she has Hideyoshi to support her, to give her that supportive environment whenever she needs a bit more assistance or help, or whenever she needs support, essentially. And George too is quite a good kid, so I think the family that she has created is a very wonderful family, and one that I'm sure she would have a very wonderful time with forever. I just want to contrast this with Rosa just a little bit, because Rosa has no supportive environment right now. All she has is Maria, but Maria is really too young to truly understand what is happening between, regarding a lot of things. But children are smart too, so they pick up things. We were all children at one point in time, so I'm sure all of you will understand what I'm saying. But still, for Rosa, she doesn't have whether it's a partner or a friend that supports her. Well, I don't know if she has friends, but I'm gonna assume that she doesn't really have someone that knows her, all her troubles and insecurities, and help her through it. Not the way Eva has with Hideyoshi. So that's the difference with Rosa right there. And that's probably also why Rosa's behavior is it's quite different from how Eva portrays herself, but they are different people, so yeah, differences are sure to arise. It's also interesting that we saw Eva's younger self bring up the epitaph and says to solve the epitaph in order to become the head. And this young self basically read aloud the epitaph, and maybe she revealed something to Eva. Maybe there's a little secret about what that key is that she revealed to Eva. I think we will get closer and closer to solving the epitaph as we go on. But yeah, that was an interesting point. If we go back further, we see Kraus and Kinzo being assholes and like Eva says, male supremacists. Funny way to put it, but very true. I wanted to reach into the screen and punch the both of them, but I think Kinzo is pretty much irredeemable, but I might change my mind as we continue, as I have changed my mind many times before. But Kraus, at the very least, he seems to care for Eva, but in a different kind of way that isn't quite entirely pleasant. But he still cares for her in his own way, I would say. I'm interested now to see Kraus and Rudolph's backstory. I'm sure there is a lot going on over there. And let's go back right to the very beginning of episode 1, where we saw Beatrice's young self. Well, we didn't see Beatrice, but we saw Beatrice, the other Beatrice, her master, that Beatrice. That gave me goosebumps that it's Beatrice's past self, her entire past. I don't know. I still don't really know what Umineko really is about. And at the very least, though, I can say that it is a story that is more than a detective novel, and is one that really toys with my feelings. Well, not intentionally, but still. It makes me feel all sorts of things. And I think we're never gonna go through an episode without crying, because I think I cried way too much in episode 1, and then some in episode 2, and then now, in the beginning of episode 3 alone, the tears are coming, crying for literally everyone. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, this chapter, and thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you cry? Did you cry at this scene? I know a lot of you guys cried when you saw Rosa defend or protect Maria in episode 2's ending, but I think if you've been following since episode 1, you will know how much I've been crying and how easily I cry at these kind of moments. So yeah, don't worry about me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but also let me know if you would prefer a single upload every week, but we cover 2 chapters, or 2 episodes every week, but shorter time, so like 1 chapter each time, instead of the 2 chapters I've been going at each week. I mean, essentially it's still 2 chapters every week, but let me know which one you prefer, and I'll see what I can do. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!